Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the regular meeting of North Kawartha Council. It is April 21st, and I'd like to welcome all the folks that are joining us today here live in studio, and welcome those folks that may be joining us online as well. And I would like to remind everyone before we begin that our meetings are recorded and they're uploaded to our YouTube channel. So any comments, anything that happens or takes place during this meeting is going to be recorded and available for the public to hear. So just keep that in mind. So don't be gossiping too loud in the back there, because they're going to pick it up and they're going to know. And before we begin, council would like to acknowledge that we meet on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, in particular our neighbors from Kawartha Anishinaabe and Curve Lake First Nation. We recognize and honor the original people of this place that we call North Kawartha. As duly elected representatives, we follow this Indigenous practice of acknowledgement to foster respectful deliberation, thoughtful collaboration, and wise decision-making in our service to this community. Okay. And with that, I would like a motion to adopt the agenda, please, for today. Moved by Ruth Ann, seconded by Colin. All those in favor? Our agenda has been adopted. And this is the best part of my job, people, right here. I love doing this. It's a great way to start off our meeting. We get to have a few presentations and acknowledgement of some incredible achievements by some of the team members for North Kawartha. And first up, we have a special couple, it's a two-part actually presentation for our CEO librarian, Debbie Hall, who is celebrating 20 years of long-standing service this year. So Debbie first joined the North Kawartha Library in 2006 as the assistant librarian. And back when Debbie started, our library only offered seasonal part-time services. The former main branch here in Apsley was in the old M&R building. The original Woodview Library was only open in the summer, and it was located in the one-room schoolhouse with no plumbing and an indoor outhouse. So the height of luxury. Debbie has been an integral part of all the changes and improvements to North Kawartha's library service over the past 20 years, including the construction of our current main branch here and the Woodview branch addition to the Wilson Park Community Center. These new facilities, which opened in 2010, meant we could now offer year-round library services for our Woodview residents and expand the main branch into a full-time library operating 5 days a week all year long. In 2012, our library received accreditation through the Ontario Public Library Guidelines, having met the criteria for best practices in the provision of library services. Debbie has ensured that our accreditation status has been maintained for nearly 15 years. And this is no small feat, as only 10% of libraries in Ontario have achieved this recognition. As the CEO librarian for the past decade, Debbie has been committed to providing high-quality library services for our community. So Debbie, on behalf of our township and the community, I would like to offer our sincere appreciation for your 20 years of service with the North Kawartha Public Library. Thank you, and we wish you all the best for the future. And I think what I'm going to do is because it's like I said, it's a two-part. So before I do this part, I'm going to ask the chair, Kathy Laird, the library board chair, to come forward, and she's got a little something too.
So, Debbie, I know you're celebrating your 20 years of service, outstanding service, by retiring. And we certainly are wishing you a really happy retirement. You know, I don't remember the very first library in Apsley, but I well remember the frame building that was the library beside my Aunt Rosalie's house. And when that new library was created, with obviously a lot of township support, but certainly under your guidance, it was a phenomenal addition and a real treasure of North Kawartha. And just as our library has changed, libraries across the world probably, but certainly in North America, have seen some major changes. The growth of technology and the need to help support people with technology happened. And then the growth of programming, and the library became a hub of information, people-oriented as well as material-oriented. And you have ensured that our library has developed with the same kind of growth. So the board really acknowledges the strength of your leadership we hope that your retirement is everything that you wish it to be. I know you plan to travel, so I really wish you happy trails in that venture. Thank you very much.
Actually, if you want to stay up,
Okay.
we're gonna, that's why I was saying,
We'll do it
get up here, we gotta do some pictures. And if you want to say a few words too, like I said, you don't have to be 15 minutes. Maybe it's just five. But come on up. Yeah, maybe, I don't know if you can do, we can kind of go like this, maybe? Yeah, you can do it, perfect, perfect. All right. Jeez. Library. Say chicken shit. It works.
Yeah.
You know what? And this, I don't know what this is. I see there. Yeah, you get one for each. You got a lot of bag. And I don't know if you want my words or not, but there.
Yeah, thank you.
My words too. And did you want to say a few words or?
Really just thank you for the support, successive library boards, but especially from all council. I mean, we couldn't have done it without your support. It's been fantastic. Hopefully it's ongoing. And, yeah, thank every one of you.
Thank you. All right. Okay, so. But we're not done yet. You're welcome to go. I know you've got a library to run still. You're not quite done yet, so. Okay, and so we're going to carry on. We have a couple of more presentations here. Up next is acknowledgement and recognition for Trace Vickers. I'm not hiding behind the treasurer. And I'm proud to acknowledge and celebrate Trace and his 25 years of dedicated service to our township. Trace joined North Kawartha in 2001 and started his exemplary career at the dump way before they became transfer stations, the transfer stations we have today. In fact, this is actually where I first met him, and I always look forward to my dump runs and trash talking with Trace. It was clear back then that Trace loves working with the public. And it wasn't long after being in the waste department that Gary added to Trace's responsibilities by bringing him over to Parks and Rec. And Trace's first duty, drive the Zamboni. I know it's called the ice resurfacer, but it's a Zamboni. Everybody knows when you say Zamboni. Right. So while most new employees might find this to be intimidating, especially with an arena full of spectators, Trace relished the opportunity and spotlight. According to Gary, Trace had a permanent smile and became a sponge for new information, especially ice making and ice maintenance techniques. Trace exemplifies what it means to be a public servant. He's exceptionally reliable, and his working knowledge of the NKCC is second to none. Trace very much appreciated and was thankful for the opportunity to work in a new community center, as many Parks and Rec employees don't get that opportunity in their career. His enthusiasm and commitment was invaluable when building and opening the NKCC. And not just then, but over the years, Trace has consistently demonstrated a willingness to go above and beyond for the community that he loves to serve. Trace's contributions have had a lasting impact, but most importantly, Trace's character has made him a trusted and valued friend to his coworkers and many people in the community. In a nutshell, Trace's dedication reflects the very best of municipal service. Congratulations, Trace, on 25 years of outstanding service, and thank you for everything you do for North Kawartha. You're the next contestant on.
Come on down.
I can't believe it's gonna happen.
I'm old.
But all right, so no, you gotta. This is my better side, so. Maybe this is my better side. Here, let's get that for you. Oh, we didn't do that. Wait. Perfect. Okay. Oh, there's more. Show you. Yeah. Awesome. Do you want to say a few words? Thanks.
That's speech ever, right? That's speech ever.
Awesome. Okay. So, last but not least, I'm gonna move over this way now. We get to recognize someone who is joining a very elite club this year. Gary, welcome to the 30-year club. Only a few. I was trying to think about that this morning. I think there's only been maybe 3 other that I can think of that maybe are in that club, so it's very elite for sure. Anyway, let's go back to the beginning, shall we? Arriving in North Kawartha in 1996, that was the same year that I arrived. Gary was hired originally as the arena manager, and he quickly rose to become Lord of the Dump, Master of Building Maintenance, and Emperor of the NKCC. That's the 10-minute or 10-second version, I should say. But seriously, Gary is a man of many talents and accomplishments. As the manager of Parks and Rec, Waste, and Building Maintenance, he has completed numerous training programs and has received a veritable plethora of certifications and professional designations. Trust me when I say the man is super qualified to hold all the titles that he has. It's truly amazing just how competent he is in every aspect of the many areas under his purview. There's so much on his plate, yet it all gets done to an incredibly high standard. Despite wearing so many hats, Gary is always willing to put another one on to assist wherever and whenever he is asked. One of his many admirable talents is his incredible people skills. Whether it's his staff, his colleagues, council, or members of the public, Gary treats everyone with respect. He always makes himself available and often goes above and beyond to support and assist anyone who needs it. Gary's dedication and commitment to the township and our entire community is second to none. He has accomplished so much during his tenure, but perhaps his most well-known and crowning glory is our beautiful North Kawartha Community Center. It is a stunning facility that, for all intents and purposes, he was the project manager and consultant on. The building incorporates so many great ideas that came about not only because of his experience in the field, but also because of his ability to come up with creative and eminently practical solutions to any problems that arose. It's an award-winning design that has been a model for many other communities to follow when building their own community center facilities. And I think everyone knows, or you should know by now, that my mantra is the greatest asset of any community is its people, and Gary is one of the greatest of the greats. Gary, on behalf of council and all of North Kawartha, thank you for 3 decades of outstanding service to our community. Oh, I think, I know. That's why we did it that way. So we put you at the end. So you have.
Lots of time to talk.
Hang on, so. You take that, you need to this, yeah. Yeah.
Are you taller than me?
Wonderful, thank you. Here's your $1 million check.
Boy, thank you so much.
And floor is yours, take it away.
I don't know what to say. I wasn't planning on saying much, but thanks for the recognition. Actually, it was just the other day, I was talking about this with my mom. First off, by the way, if anybody's trying to do the math, I'm the first 38-year-old with 30 years experience. I know people were trying to figure that out. I'm proud to be part of the team we have here. And, without getting emotional, we've built a lot over our 30 years, and I'm proud of what we've built. From spaces, we've built programs, and we've made memories, but most importantly, we've built relationships. And that's what I truly, believe in, and I'm really thankful for. So thank you very much.
Oh, that's wonderful. All right. Well,
Is that all you got?
that's all. That's all I have today, so. But thanks, folks, and yeah, you're welcome to go. We'll go on with the rest of our business here, but but welcome. It's, as I said, it's always a fun day when we get to do those kinds of things at our meetings. So thank you all again.
Cheers.
Cheers. Now get back to work.
Thanks again.
$100 million checks. All right.
I
know. The face of the municipality, there are several of them that just split out the door there. But anyway, okay, so back into the rest of our meeting. We don't have any statutory public hearings. So we'll just go on to the Peterborough County report. I don't have a lot to think other than my notice of motion regarding term limits on the position of warden did pass. Basically, it was a motion just removing those restrictions. It just felt it was important not to tie future county council's hands with institutional barriers for folks that may want to run for that position. So that passed. The county also struck an Alto working group. And I think I spoke to that it was coming at the last meeting anyway, but and the folks that were appointed on there, the warden, the deputy warden, and those members of the townships that are within that sort of like the proposed sort of line that it's going through. So they did that. We also awarded our microsurfacing tender, and I just wanted to give a note for tomorrow. We do have Janet Levy-Smith coming to county, and she's going to do a presentation update on all the changes that are happening with conservation authorities. So I expect there'll be lots of interesting discussion tomorrow at county, and stay tuned for my report back from that at the next meeting. So anyway, Jim, do you have anything to add?
No, just that tomorrow we do have that home building infrastructure act coming down. A lot more changes to the planning act apparently. Lorraine, have you read that yet?
I was on vacation.
We'll talk about it later. And we've also got the county wants us to join in the sustainability and climate action plan with everybody else.
Yeah, we're taking
the city and everybody's in it. So we're gonna get a report on it. I imagine it will go through, but we'll have to wait and see.
See what happens tomorrow. Any questions or comments on any stuff from county? All right, if not, motion to receive the county report, moved by Ruth Ann, seconded by Colin, all in favor. That report has been received. Crowe Valley, Colin, how's it going over there? The floodwaters receding somewhat?
So we have peaked, and water levels certainly were high this year. But if we look back over 25, 30 years, it was the higher range of normal. It didn't really exceed what would have been normal. I understand that different watersheds had different experiences. We also appointed our chair to the transitional committee. There's been one struck up with all conservation authorities within our new group. So that's going to be one of our main advocacy arms for sort of conservation authority issue wide problems. Anything hyperlocal North Kawartha, we can certainly still bring through Crowe Valley. Permits as a whole are down, but the share for North Kawartha are actually up so far this year. And it's nice to see there's a 2 to 4 day turnaround on all different types of permits, requests, applications. Things seem to be flowing quite well there. And then first quarter budget to actuals looks good, but as everyone knows, first quarter budget to actuals is only so valuable. But we do have a little extra treat where for the first time ever with the consolidation, there's $3 million from the province that's being divvied up amongst the conservation authorities. And we haven't got an increase to our grant amounts in 10 years. So this will be a nice sort of
nice boost
and a nice boost in a complicated time for us.
Yeah, I hear you. Any questions?
Have you, is there a competition for who's going to represent us? Or has anybody been appointed yet?
So because it's, as of the last time that we've heard from the province, going to be done through the county. I imagine actually you'd probably
it's on the presentation.
See more jockeying at the county level than internally on our boards.
Okay.
Because the payment structure stays the same. So, and I already raised that issue with our MPP, just that idea that like like right now, like we pay what we pay, but we've got representation there, and like now it's going to be shared amongst, and we're not gonna have every person, right? I don't know, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, but
Yeah.
yes, as I said, I expect it to be a very interesting discussion tomorrow at county, but thank you for the update, and I'm sure I'll probably be firing off questions to you when they make their presentation. But anyway, and looking forward to meeting Janet, because I don't think I've met her before.
Yeah.
So,
Fantastic.
yep,
Received or not?
perfect. Motion to receive by Jim, seconded by Ruth Ann. All those in favor? That Crowe Valley report has been received. Okay, and adoption of the minutes of the previous meeting that was held on April 7th. If there are no errors or omissions, can I have a motion to adopt those minutes? Moved by Ruth Ann, seconded by Jim. All those in favor? Carried. Is a no business arising consent agenda. Okay, there's one thing on the consent agenda. Well, a couple things. I had mentioned about the resolution regarding the ultra high speed train. The working group that the county passed, but also I wanted to pull out number 2. That's the Ontario Parks regarding the request for letter of support for a dark sky preserve application. Now, Len and I had a bit of back and forth with Tyler over this because it's coming from a committee over in Trent Lakes, and they kind of put the cart before the horse. They haven't really gone to the council yet about it. But anyway, in the meantime, Tyler had sent this to us and was asking, whether or not we would consider that. It seems chances are like pretty good. Trent Lakes Council is going to support it as well. But Alana and I both had questions about like, how would this impact like private properties within the park, all of that, like is there a particular area? And so Tyler, he responded back and he just said he says, correct, all private properties would be excluded from the preserve. Private recreational camps, because I asked about that, because they're like leased land, right? Hunting camps would be included as parkland, but no changes are anticipated as there is an allowance for lighting, and the majority of these have limited temporary lighting run by generators. And the designation would limit the park on future lighting, but there's nothing anticipated. There's no big infrastructure being planned for the park, and requirement to use approved lighting if required. So that's basically what he said. It's not really going to impact anybody that's still there. It's basically already kind of is a dark sky preserve. They just haven't designated it and kind of put the rules around it because there's nothing there.
What are they gonna do?
They're going to keep it
I
dark.
mean, it's either dark or it's black.
I know.
But if you have private property, it's not dark.
So because I asked him, I said, like, I keep asking questions because I just keep picturing in my mind, like all these little pockets of lighted areas are up and like, where is it going to be exactly? But I basically, like I said, it's the status quo of what it is now, right?
I know.
It's just, they're making it a designation, and that therefore any kind of future, like they were gonna be, and I keep thinking like, what are they gonna build in there anyway? It's a wilderness, like interior camping park, right? Like there's no roads to go in to build
Can't
anything.
do anything in the park.
And anyway, so that's what, as I said, that's the motion that's coming forward. So it's up to council whether or not we can defer this to wait and see what Trent Lakes does. But it's up to you guys. Go ahead.
And personally, I don't mind deferring it just to find out a little bit more about
Sure.
what's actually gonna happen, because like, I'm assuming this is gonna have to be accessible somehow from roads.
No,
But
they won't put it anymore.
No.
But they won't build a new road, so I don't, unless people are canoeing into the dark sky preserve specific
To
area.
attract people to the dark
Mhm.
reserve. Yeah,
That's
but
just-
they need a parking lot.
Well, exactly, right? So
Yeah,
you can only access it if you're canoeing in.
it's something that I love the idea of, but I just
Yeah.
don't understand it
So-
enough to put the township's voice behind it.
So I'll tell you what the email was. Kawartha Highlands Provincial Park was recently approached by the Environmental Advisory Committee with the municipality of Trent Lakes regarding the potential creation of a dark sky preserve within the park boundary. And part of the application to the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada, he was just reaching out to see if we would be interested in supporting the initiative. And he just said he wanted to emphasize that any future designation would apply only to the regulated park boundary. It doesn't include any private property at all. But it sounds like I think we should maybe just defer this and have it come back once we hear from Trent Lakes, and maybe it's something that Tyler can come and speak to.
Yeah, I could also send a link. So the, in Trent Lakes, they have the environmental committee that's referenced. They do have minutes and agendas, and they do have a subcommittee for the dark sky. And they do have a lot of attachments and links on their agendas and minutes, so I can see if I can send that to council and you can
Just a little bit of
more of
background.
the background that they have done.
But yeah, and maybe just make a note, I just reflect in the minutes, Kelly, that we'll defer any kind of a decision on this request until more information is received. Okay? Can I have a motion?
I second,
That's always gonna make that.
motion to defer.
Yeah, and Jim is gonna second it. All those in favor? That is approved. And then if there's nothing else anybody wants to pull forward, there's not a lot on this one. Motion to receive the balance of the consent agenda, please. Moved by Ruthann, seconded by Jim, all in favor? That has been approved, and we're now into staff reports, and we have, Matt, you're up. Talk to us about administrative penalty systems. It's been a long time coming. I know we started talking about this many years ago.
Morning, Madam Mayor and members of council. Before you a report on the administrative penalty system. This has come up a few times in the past, most recently during the short-term rental advisory committee report and recommendations. So currently the township relies on the Provincial Offences Act and court system for dealing with non-compliance with bylaws. The administrative penalty system would allow municipalities to deal with it more internally. If we read through the report there, you'll see that it can be a more cost-effective enforcement tool for the township, as well as maybe expedite matters. Court can also take a long time to handle cases, so this may help in that way. So this could be used in any of the township bylaws that are passed under the Municipal Act, as well as under the Building Code Act for property standards only. So it wouldn't be able to address building infractions. It also, at this time, I should say, it wouldn't be able to handle building infractions. It also can't be used for zoning infractions, as that's passed under the Planning Act. So in the future, that may change, but at this time, it's only those bylaws. So the recommendation is that we're just looking for direction from council to prepare an administrative penalty system bylaw and any of the other necessary documents and policies for implementation of the administrative penalty system for the enforcement of applicable township bylaws. So I'm looking for support to carry on and prepare this, if that's council's wish at this time.
Okay, all right. Questions, comments, very soft, Jim.
Yeah, I'm always leery about penalties, but I know we have to have them for our taxes, but tell me exactly what's gonna be covered by this if the bylaws aren't covered and the building department isn't covered, what is covered?
So parking can be handled through the APS, as well as noise, dog bylaw, as well as animal control. Basically any of our bylaws that are passed under the Municipal Act. There's others, clean and clear, property standards. There's others that I'm missing, I'm sure, but majority of our bylaws could be included in the APS.
Okay. And, oh, sorry.
No, I'm just very leery of penalties.
Okay, all right.
So if I may, our approach is a soft approach, giving people opportunity to correct the issue, not, issue a penalty off the start. That's always been our approach. That's not going to change. We're using, or we would be using the APS as a tool to gain compliance, but it's not something that's going to be our first step. We always start with letters to inform somebody of it's basically a notice of violation, and they are given time to correct that violation. and move on. There is opportunity as well for multiple offenses, subsequent offenses that we could increase the amount, so to try and gain compliance that way as well.
I got Colin, did you have questions?
I can wait.
Okay, I was just picking up on what Jim said there. So I was just gonna ask, what about like right now we have like when we have burn complaints, is that like, would that be something that would be underneath the?
I'd have to look at that.
Because I know like our fire department, like our fire chief will go out and it's the same kind of thing where it's, it goes out education kind of first. And so I just don't know if there are fines and penalties already associated with the burn bylaw, right? Or whether that could be.
I'd have to see whether that bylaw was passed under the Municipal Act and if whatever legislation it was passed under.
Prevention and Protection Act, so.
Yeah,
Have to look at the act.
Yeah.
To see if it is, possible to use the APS for that, but.
Well, I don't know, like I said, I'm just wondering, because aren't there fines?
There are fines
So
in the
there,
bylaw.
so, and I guess my other thing is, and I hear what Jim is saying, I mean, we don't want to be heavy handed with this, but there's always the challenge that we have, I mean, I always say like, the fastest way for, a council or municipality to lose credibility is to pass bylaws that you can't enforce, right? And I'm not saying we're going out there and slapping hundreds of dollars on people, but at the same time, and like you said, that going to the courts to try to get enforcement is just not practical and it's not affordable. It's not efficient at all. But I mean, if someone's parking and they shouldn't be parking in a spot, prevents, emergency service access or whatever, getting a ticket that they have to pay and that goes on to their taxes or they can't renew their license or whatever, will, like we say, even on the roads, when you get a speeding ticket, you hit them in the pocketbook to, and it corrects the behavior. So, and there's lots of municipalities that do this and they find it to be an effective tool. It's not meant to be a cash cow, right? Like we're not looking to, make a whole bunch of money. We're just looking to ensure that, that, like you said, bring people into compliance with the bylaws. I think it's something that, we definitely should look at, and I would be supportive of having this being brought forward, but Colin, I'll let you add your comments.
Yeah, no, and it is strengthening the tool, but there's no new penalties that are being introduced. It's just our ability to actually collect on those penalties and reduce the amount of work that's needed for that and make it more realistic. So I don't have any issues with moving forward with it. And the committee did look at it. Sometimes it was introduced through town, sometimes through groups like city county hybrids, and the town is the right level to be doing this. HBM's done it and they've had good success with it. So again, I think it's a good move forward because we need to be able to enforce our bylaws or else there's no sense in having them.
Yeah, and then a couple more things. So there talks about, there's a process for a screening officer and a hearing officer, but a screening officer would be somebody sort of in-house. There would be a staff person appointed that would review whatever, like when a ticket's issued or a fine is issued. And then a hearing officer, like, I just don't know about that aspect of it.
So the hearing officer would be basically a third-party person that's contracted, I guess, by the township. I mean, they're compensated for their time.
Like an integrity commissioner?
I guess, yeah. But it would be someone that isn't a township employee, so it'd be seen as more of a third party, neutral. Party and, to review what's.
Okay, but not the courts.
That's right.
Right? Okay, and then the other thing I just wanted to mention, because I was thinking about it, because we've had this conversation recently too, and we're talking about like currently through the building code that you can do the clean and clear on the property standards, right? I did mention to our MPP that idea of, like, as I know they're looking at changes to the building code, and I talked a bit about the AMPS and or APS. I thought it was AMPS. Is it two?
So
Administrative monetary penalties or administrative penalty system?
Probably something M along the way somewhere.
yeah, I think some municipalities do use the M, so AMPS. If you look in the legislation, it's a administrative penalty system.
Okay.
Maybe the legislation has changed over time, but and
Either way, we know what we're talking about.
yeah.
It's an AMP or APS, whatever, but I did bring that idea forward. I said, you know, if there was the ability, if you're looking at, as I said, making some changes with the building code to, you know, give greater flexibility to enforce more of the building code through the use of something like this, it could be beneficial. So we'll see what happens. But I think the first step for us is, like you said, it's just to prepare this policy and bring it forward. And is this something that we would be looking for, like, would we have a public hearing or posting on it or anything like that? I don't know if that's, because
So there would be a bylaw that's brought forward.
right.
So I mean, we can advertise that ahead of time for public comment, I guess.
I didn't know if that was a requirement, like I know with some bylaws that we have to do that, but anyway, but either way, like, the recommendation is that, that you prepare it and bring, the documents and policies for implementation forward, so. Ruth Ann's gonna move it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Is there a seconder for that? Seconded by Colin. All those in favor? That's been great. Thanks, Matt. Perfect. Okay. And now, welcome back, Laura. We've got a couple of staff reports under planning, and first up is the amendment to the site plan for 9630 Highway 28. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. This is a good news item. One of the businesses in our community is expanding. Armstrong Trucking, which is located at 9630 Highway 28, is looking to redevelop the garage. Currently, the garage that is existing is undersized to facilitate the needs that the company has. The proposed structure will be quite a bit bigger, 50 by 100. And it will also include space for staff, which is a normal expansion. This amendment to the bylaw hits somewhere in between being considered minor and major. It does not exceed.
It's
medium. It's medium amendment. So it does not exceed 5% of lot coverage with the expansion, but it does go over the requirement of nothing bigger than 200 square feet. So that's why we're here today. But the recommendation is that council grant an amendment to the site plan in effect for 9630 Highway 28, in force and effect through bylaw number 12-0028 to permit a redevelopment of the garage/shop.
Okay, perfect. Any questions or comments? Yeah, Colin.
What's the zoning on the property?
I believe it is CH, but I can pull that up very quickly for you. It's just not top of mind.
It's commercial.
I'm almost sure we've changed it to commercial, didn't we?
It is commercial, yeah.
Yeah.
See, went with the H.
It's something
It's
commercial.
commercial, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why, and there's always site plans triggered with commercial, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I don't have any issue with this 5,000 square foot garage on a commercial property, but if it was still residential, that might be a different story.
Yeah, exactly.
So just for clarification, it is zone CH, which is just our commercial zone.
Okay,
Move the recommendation.
perfect. Seconded by Ruth Ann. All those in favor? That's approved.
Thank you.
Okay, and the next one is actually, it's Matt again. Okay, perfect. This is, thank you, Laura. That concludes your, your involvement with today's agenda.
Thank you very much, Matt.
Enjoy the rest of the day. Yeah, purchase of open municipal road lots. This has been before us before,
Yes.
and it's back. Okay.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So as you said, Madam Mayor, this application has been brought to council previously and was approved in principle. There was a change that we felt that needed to come back to council for their approval. So once the applicant, Mr. Bobian, started looking at how he wanted to develop his property, he wanted to put the dock in a different location than the original approval. So it's shifted to the south. If you look at the attached revised site plan, there's also a change in size of the dock and shape. So that's reflected in the site plan. The new location, does comply with the Trans Severn Waterway setbacks to the south limit of the lot, which is the 4.5 meters. So there was some discussion about that as we were going through that change. So looking for the council approve the applicant approval in principle for the purchase of the unopened municipal road allowance, including the 2 inland portions of the municipal road allowance and 2 portions of flooded municipal road allowance as indicated in the provided sketch adjacent to their property located within part lot 1 concession 12 Burley Ward, having roll number 1536 020 003 12800 and municipally known as 3716 County Road 6.
That's the last township, North Kawartha property before it shifts to Dummer. Other things on the line there, so. Okay, any questions or comments on this one?
Very straightforward.
It is, for sure.
I should note there is a small section, it was mentioned in the report, there is a small section of the drowned land between where the dock sits, but that's also owned by Mr. Bovey, and I checked with the surveyor to confirm that. If it hadn't been owned by him, it could have changed things a little bit, but it fortunately is, so.
Have there been any letters of objection or anything to this?
No.
No, nothing. Okay, thanks.
Well, this is approval in principle, so the process hasn't fully
Yeah,
been
it's-
started yet for circulation, so still something may come forward, but this is just saying like, hey, we're, go ahead and proceed. We don't
Go ahead.
see any issues, right? So,
Okay.
do you want to move the recommendation, Jim?
Yeah, sure thing.
Perfect, okay. Seconded by Colin. All those in favor? That's approved. Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, Matt. And that's it, I think, until we're going into closed session, actually. That's the rest of that's the balance of the business anyway. So I'm looking for a motion for us to go into closed section pursuant to section 239(2) of the Municipal Act. This part of the meeting is going to be closed to the public. It's discussing proposed pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality, litigation or potential litigation, and advice that is subject to solicitor client privilege. So thanks, everyone. Oh, sorry, Ruth Ann's going to move that. And Colin's gonna second it. We're gonna go into close now, so thank you, and we'll see you later. Okay, welcome back, everyone, and I need a motion to come out of close and back into open, please. Moved by Jim Whalen, seconded by Ruth Ann. All those in favor? We are back in open, and nothing to report other than direction was provided to staff on the items that were listed for discussion in closed. And then with that, I just actually do want to make a couple of announcements if I can. First is that not this weekend, but next weekend, I'm sure everybody knows, but the first annual Lions Home and Cottage Show will be happening here in Apsley. I think they are sold out with all of their vendor booths, and
Great.
there's going to be lots of activity. I was speaking with Edward, our economic development officer there, and I think he's excited, but I think he's a little nervous too. He goes, I think there's going to be like thousands of people here. So, which is great. And I think it's wonderful. And a lot of folks that I've spoken with have, said like, how come we haven't done this before? Right. So kudos to the Lions.
That's great.
And it's going to be a great weekend, I think. So looking forward to that. And then later on in the month of May 28th, it's a Thursday at the Burley Falls Inn. North Kawartha is hosting a teeny tiny summit, which is through like Roma and Rural Affairs, Ontario. These are great little summits focused on small rural communities and ECDEV opportunities, that kind of thing. We have Leslie Fournier coming as a guest speaker. We've partnered with our First Nations, Curve Lake and Kawartha Anishinaabe. Just lots of good discussion there, opportunities for folks to come and learn about all the great things you can do in a small community. And the theme is building hope in uncertain times. And I think that's it's quite fitting for where we are right now. But anyway, tickets are on sale through Eventbrite. I think we've shared some postings, or there will be postings coming up. But they're $50 a piece, but it's well worth it. You can't help but come away from an event like that and not be inspired. It's really incredible. So those are the two announcements that I have, and then we'll just move on to the bylaws, Kelly. And there's just, I can actually do it. Can I have a motion for a bylaw to amend the site plan agreement approved under bylaw 28/12?
I move that.
Jim's gonna do it. Perfect. All those in favor? Can I have a motion to confirm the proceedings of today's meeting? Moved by Colin and seconded by Ruth Ann. All in favor? We are confirmed, and a motion to adjourn, please. Moved by Ruth Ann and doubled by Colin. Thanks, everyone.